Hey everybody, Scorpion here. So let's strip this big HB and see what's in it.
Rock bottle on the track, boy.
Alright. Pull that cover off there. See what kind of goodies we got inside. Well, that's different. So we got two, I don't know, copper aluminum slash maybe stainless steel heat sinks. Underneath those should be ICs, not ICs. The actual processors. Got a big fan over here where all the RAM is. We do have one external card. So let's start tearing into this and see what we can get done. So normally I try to get as many of the wires out the way as I can first. Just because it helps with everything else. Especially if you can track down where they're going and completely remove them. As I get some of the wires taken care of, I normally try to get the power supply out. That opens up a bunch of space, so you're not fighting as much dealing with everything down in here. You got more room to move. Make sure all that's free. This is coming over this way and over to here. So looks like that flips up. This external cord. Flip that back down. This goes to the power supply. This is my first one I've seen built like this. It's kind of interesting. So that is now out the way. So this goes to the power supply. Alright. So we've got a fan. Take these screws out back here and a power supply should come out. And they are special screws. I'll use this one since all the rest of mine are gone. You'll forgive me, it's going to take me a second to get these out. And there's a latch or a screw over here, but there isn't for this power supply, so we are good to go. There's a huge power supply. So now there's a whole lot more space in here. Let's see if this fan will come out pretty easy. So now that's out the way. Some pretty interesting stuff in here. This stuff is made up of screws that I don't normally have to use. So y'all give me a second, I'll be right back. I gotta find a different bit for all this. Alright, sorry about that, y'all. So I had to put a couple of extensions together and get some other couple sets to be able to get down in this where the fans are, and it's got a guard on it. So I got those unhooked. As you can see, copper, aluminum, some nice brass pieces right here I'll probably try to pull off. Fan on the back, shred. And then got this one. So those are off of there and ready. So let's see what type of chips we have in here. Alright, so these are the ones with no pins. It does have a little something on there. I don't know, can't read it. Anyway, so this is like number 2 copper. This little piece on the back, they pop off of there and you have just the chip left. Flip these upside down and set them over here. So I expect this one to be the same, and it is. So we got 2 processors out of it. One I opened last night and I didn't record it, had 7 sticks of RAM. Alright, let's see. I can get under the edge of this and pop this aluminum heat sink off. So I have to pull this out and clean that off and it'll be ready to go. Here's another one. Actually has a small fan on it. Nice heat sink where you can move a lot of air through there. It's like every other fin is longer than the other one. I've never seen one of those before. It's kind of neat. Let's see if we can unplug it. And I'm probably going to need the needle nose to get down in there and unhook it. Wow, just come out instead of that letting go, which is fine. We can go that route too. Alright, let's see if I can get underneath that and pop that loose. Looks like this is going to be one of them that is straight glued to the chip. I had one like that last night too. The chip come off with the heat sink. So yeah, there's the chip. It's glued to the heat sink, so I have to separate those. So pretty valuable chip. I believe that's gold corner BGA. As you can see, that's number 2 copper. It's still stuck to the bottom of that. It's glued on there. I mean, it's glued. So that's the second one I've crossed like that I didn't want to take off the board, but I didn't have no choice. It come off with the heat sink. So I'll have to fix that here in a little bit. So looks like all the aluminum is off the board. All of these right here, you can pull these off. This one, there's 4 back here. One little one right here. We're gonna pop this battery out. Maybe not. Can't leave the batteries on there. We're gonna pull these bolts out that are around the outside. This was nice enough to give us 4 sticks of RAM. Now you can send them in just like they are. Okay, they fall into a different classification if you leave this stuff on there. Most of them are not too hard. If it's like this, you just kind of pop these little clips off and then pull the aluminum plate off here. If you give me a second, I will get this thing going. There we go. So that would be shred. I'm fairly certain. Stick a magnet on it a second and see. Now sometimes pulling these off, you pull the little chips off too, so you want to kind of work your way around and pry them up slow and easy. Depends upon how they're connected. Alright, so it's got that stuff between them. So you get more for your RAM once you've cleaned it. So this would go, I think, aluminum sheet, which is, well, some places almost $1 a pound right now. It's like 95 cents, I've heard. And there's your RAM stick. And last I remember, they were like $22 a pound, something like that. I've got, looking at my box, I'm gonna guess I've got close to $200 worth of RAM sitting over here, just from pulling them out of computers and stacking them up. So there's that, and that kind of finishes explaining the board to you. I'll finish these few here in a minute. Alright, so we still have another fan here. And we get all tricky with some of this stuff. It's like just a little easy thing to pop it out, but alright, I'm taking donations for a shop. I have absolutely run out of room in here, so I'm not sure what's catching, but something is, and it doesn't want to let the hard drive out. But basically that's it, other than taking these wires out. Sometimes the front panels come off reasonably easy. If you're interested in it, this piece right here, you can take it off. Little switches sometimes. Most of them is just 1 or 2 screws holding it in place. Some of them it's more. I do normally take this stuff off. Apparently there's another one over here. I normally just pull this out just far enough to cut the wires off. There's normally a screw or 2 in this you can take out. And then those normally come out pretty easy. But this one wants to be a little bit of a pain. Here it goes. That's right. So these 3 plugs, this one, and the one here, have gold on the things. This USB ports or whatever you want to use them for. As you can see, there's some copper back here. This little piece would be shred that's going around it. So I lay these aside just for something to take apart later. If I run out of everything else, times get slow, something like that. And all those wires, we start pulling those out. So normally I do take my time, try not to get too carried away. I'm not doing this for a living. I might be later in life, but right now I'm not. Right now I'm just learning. So I try to take my time and learn as I go, and learn other things that'll make it faster and easier as time goes on. That way later in life, when I am trying to do this for a living, I already have all that information down and be able to just run with it. So all we got left is that drive there, and every computer is made different, so it could be a piece on the other side, screw on the other side. Let's see if this panel comes off. It does not look like it, not very easy. So it looks like it's the front cover that's hidden. So we can solve that. Normally the covers are not that hard to get off of these. There we go. Y'all give me a minute, I'll be right back. Yep, 100% front cover. And as soon as I cut the camera off, it pops right off of there. So, there's your hard drive. So there's all that. Plastic trash. So I already showed you, oh, this piece that come off with that chip there. I may have to pause it again, to be honest with you, because these can be on there good if it's anything like the last one. There it goes. So you clean that up, and that's your copper number 2. Quite a bit of weight. There's your heat sink. Pull your screws out, take your fan out, take your brackets off. You got a little bit of wire. These, I believe I've showed you before, but you got to take the aluminum and copper off of these and any steel. So there's your aluminum. Most of the time these have a screw in them, but sometimes they're just like clamped on. So now that's ready to go. I've got almost a whole box of these. This is shred and that's shred. I've showed y'all fans before. I think that's all I got left, but here's all your fans and heat sinks. Here's all of your just fans. So it's a little bit of wire on each one. Your motor, these have the grates over them. These are actually pretty easy to get off if you've never seen it done before. Side cutters here, and you just grab it, it pulls. It's like a little pin, it pulls it right out. Those are super easy. Drop that in shred. Cut your fan. There's your fan. There's your wire. Here's your trash. And you just take your fans off and you're left with a motor. I mean, it's that easy, doesn't take long. And I've had fans all different shapes and sizes. I've seen little tiny ones like this one. And the motor's bigger than that whole fan. I've seen some bigger than this one. So basically that's it. So that's either, pretty sure that's going to be a metal 2-socket board. There you go. So I hope y'all enjoyed, and we'll bring you back for another video, something a little different.